What is something you did once and never again? Tried to intervene during a street fight. Got shot for my troubles. Went to Times Square for New Year's Eve in New York City. I live in NYC and I figured it was the kind of thing I wanted to see but didn't need to see again. Went in 2000 when I was 18. Got there 11 a.m. and stayed for 13 hours in the freezing cold but with close spots to the ball drop and screen. I'm glad I did it. I'm also glad I've never done it again. Ran out of toilet paper when I was 11, saw alcohol wipe cloths and thought that would work just fine. Nope, as soon as I did that first wipe it was as if the sun teleported into my asshole and I was hopping around the bathroom trying not to squeal. Mom opened the door to check on the noise and saw me jumping around with an alcohol pad between my cheeks. Keep alcohol away from your anus. I stole a tester eyeliner from the makeup section at a store when I was 17. The security guy took me aside in a small room and questioned me, asked for my information, and to scare me, he said this would always be in my record and companies won't want to hire me anymore, and I burst into tears and had a panic attack. He said he'll let me off if I pay double the price of the eyeliner, so I did and he let me go. Now, I don't know how much of what he told me was real and if the resolve was legitimate, but if he tried to just scare me into not becoming a serial swiper, it worked. Cocaine. I remember feeling alive, feeling like myself for the first time, feeling like I was bursting at the seams with creative ideas. I was finally the person I wished I was, as creative as I wished I was, and as motivated as I wished I was. I felt like I had found the secret holy grail of success and happiness. Then I thought, oh, fuck. This is why people get addicted to it. So I vowed not to do it again and went back to being depressed and unmotivated. One time, I was around 12 or 13, I suddenly took interest on my sharpener. Since my pinky finger was small enough, I decided, why don't I sharpen my finger? Like, why the fuck not? So I plunged it in and twisted, hard. Took nearly a week to heal. One of the most stupidest things I ever done. Salvia. I experimented with lots of drugs, and especially psychedelics when I was younger, but man. Take the most intense part of an acid trip but without any lead up to ease you in. So you go from stone cold sober to tripping balls in seconds. The trip only lasts for 5 minutes, but you spend the next couple of hours playing catch up with your brain trying to make sense of things. And you'd better make sure you're with people you trust, because I could have easily walked right off my balcony without thinking twice about it. Not paying attention to currents when swimming in the sea, and going anyway when there's a red flag and no guard. Dumbest shit ever. I was with my 2 brothers and my father, happily splashing around. Suddenly we turn around and the shore just got very far away. So we start swimming back, but the sea is stronger than you. If you stop 5 seconds to catch your breath, you lose the progress you did during the last minute, and that's precious. I was young, so I don't remember it as a legit life-threatening situation, but my brothers and dad still got chills when talking about it. Hiking through jungles. They look so beautiful in movies. In reality, they are some of the most brutal hikes I've been on. Let's start with the humidity. It's so bad it drenches you to the bone, and there's no escaping it. Being under a jungle canopy is like being in a pressure cooker. The heat and humidity beats you down harder than any environment I've been in. Then there's the swarms of biting bugs. From never-ending mosquitoes, giant spiders on everything, ticks jumping on you from everywhere, and colonies of aggressive fire ants crisscrossing the trails, you can expect to have more bug bites than you've thought possible to survive. Spelunking, cave exploring. For starters, it begins and ends with going through a million bats. And the journey in between is just too dangerous, in the last place in the world you'd want to get hurt. And super tight squeezes are freaky. Carolina Reaper infused gummy bear. I almost called for an ambulance. Legitimately thought I was going to die covered in sweat, shit and vomit. So when I was really young, I liked to play military or something, and one time I wanted to be a hostage and escape from it to fight the bad guys like an idiot. However, I couldn't get the tape to work myself, so I asked my brother for help. So I went onto a cabinet and had my brother do it. I was excited to escape and fight the bad guys. Then I woke up in my dad's car dizzy, confused and dazzled. What had happened was because I was an idiot, and my brother was too. I was tied up on top of the cabinet, so when I wanted to get down I basically face planted so hard my mom said it looked like I got murdered. I amazingly only had a broken nose. So I never played hostage again. I was a stupid kid. When I was 10-ish years old I knew about sexual things, and when you find smutty magazines and porno mags you grow up believing that you're gonna have sex all the time with every random person. After shaving what small pubes I had, I rubbed toothpaste all over thinking yeah the girls will like this. Did I think it'd taste better? Smell better? I have no idea. All I know is it stung. I had a cool mint dick for hours. This one time I was getting a drink that was only for $1, so I sped walked my way into the mini shops, quickly grabbed one and ran out. I was running to my friend with the drink until I felt something in my pocket, pulled it out and it was the $1. Sudden realization. I quickly ran back to the mini shop to see the shop owners scanning the outside of their shop. I gave them my $1 and said sorry. They looked at the $1, looked at each other, spoke in a different language, and went back inside. I'm pretty sure they called me an idiot, as I went back with shame. Bath salts. Tried some from a guy who went by Asian Billy. I did about enough to cover the head of a framing nail and was pretty much having a panic attack for the next 8 hours. I went to a casino with the other people I was working with and Asian Billy and sat at a blackjack table and just said, I have no idea what I'm doing, sorry everyone if I mess up your bets. Everyone was cool and I ended up winning $175. When I was a kid, my neighbor invited me to hang out with this new friend from school. He brought us about a mile across farm fields to a house he enjoyed stalking behind and watching for hours. Never saw him again, but always wondered if it caught up with him. Edit for clarity, my old neighbor met a new friend at their school, I went to a different one. The new friend proceeded to walk us across town to the house he'd been stalking. I jumped off a roof barefoot when I was a kid, I'll never do that again. It was an older house and the roof was low to the ground, so it seemed okay, but my judgment led me astray. I landed on a stone entryway and immediately collapsed to the ground. I had to crawl my way back inside and it was extremely painful. The reason I did this is because the bathroom door jammed shut and I had no way out. Old house. Didn't break anything but my feet were bruised. I'm surprised I didn't break anything from the hard impact. You know that thing you did as a kid when you'd prop yourself up between two objects, like a counter and table, and swing back and forth with your legs? That. Lower jaw in 3 pieces, tongue dangling out through an open wound beneath my chin, no idea how many stitches. Teeth damages, which has already led to one of my front teeth dying due to damaged nerves. And to top it all off, this occurred just before we had to perform a bit of theater for the rest of class, and it has negatively impacted my ability to perform before any audience. But the scars add some nice character. Have a relationship with an alcoholic. He was sober for 2 years when we met and then stayed sober for another 2. The next 3 years were total hell. In and out of rehabs, so much heartache, disappointment and resentment on both sides. I was the only one working. I was the one doing everything at home. So many nights and weekends spent driving to and being at rehabs to visit, so no time off. I really loved him. I really believed I just had to support him by doing absolutely everything I could, always visiting, bringing everything he asked for, not whining for him to work or even do housework when he was sober, basically ensuring there was no stress at all in his life. I really believed he would get sober again. I really believed that it would be okay. Until one day I knew it would not. Went tubing down an alligator and snake-infested South Carolina river with my southern friends on a 4th of July years ago. The adventure was only supposed to last 3 hours tops. It lasted 7 hours because the river current was slow that day. I got the sunburn of my life that lasted until November. We also lost a raft, and encountered 2 copperhead snakes and seen multiple alligators along the edges of the river. My Yankee ass will never do that again. The southern folks can keep it.